So the amount of new Alienation products that have been coming out recently is kind of insane. We had the Backlash V2 grips, the Thunderbird seat, 2 other seats that came out. More recently, the Descent pegs, and of course, we cannot forget the Alienation Venus hub, which dropped somewhat recently. We're not stopping there. We've got another new Alienation product right here. You saw it in the title and thumbnail, and I'm super stoked to get into this box. And I don't have anything to open the box with other than this Alienation Foothold pedal that we are going to be taking a look at as well. But if you've seen these before, you know that they are very sharp for gripping your feet, so they're perfect for opening a box. Which, we have a sample Alienation pedal here. In this bag that was in the box, we have the Alienation Foot Fetish pedals. I have a ton of information about these pedals. Like I said, these are samples. I'm stoked to get them on my bike and take a look at them today for you guys. So, we've got both pedals here. First, let's just take a look at this pedal. We've got the turquoise color here. At first glance, you can see these pins are enormous. They're definitely bigger, and we will be comparing to the Foothold in a second, but let's get through all the information about these things first. First glance, we've got 5 pins here, 5 here, 2 more. So that's 12 pins on the pedal. You can see that it's got knurling on it, Alienation logo there. I'm seeing that it's concaved in both directions, this way and this way. And we'll take a little bit of a closer look here just so we can get some nice detail shots. These things look huge as well. These pedals definitely are gigantic. So let's go through some details about these things. First, these pedals are made from a virgin thermoplastic. What does that even mean? Virgin thermoplastic means that these are made from new material. Most pedals are made from a recycled material. These are virgin, meaning new. Next, they have the micro-knurling on the body. I'm reading from Alienation's site, which you can go and find the information about these on their site, which is linked in the description below. Inside the pedal, between the spindle and the pedal body, we have 2 self-lubricating composite DU bearings. I'm not going to pretend like I know what that means yet, but we can take these things apart and take a look at what that means.
Excuse me for interrupting here, but I did do a little bit of research and asking to find out more about DU bearings. Basically, what a DU bearing is a material that goes between 2 different other types of material. For example, on this pedal here, we have the spindle and the pedal body. The DU bearing goes between them. Self-lubricating simply is there because it doesn't require lubrication. So in this case, we've got the plastic DU bearings, and we'll find out more about those and we'll see them a little bit later.
There is a 6mm broaching inside the spindle here for installing them, and it says that it is a CNC chromoly spindle. That is, it says 13, I don't know what the measurement actually is, but it's 13 versus 12.6 on the Foothold. So we'll probably see that whenever we take it apart. The size on these things, they are enormous. They are 113 millimeters by 112.5 millimeters. That is this way, and they're 21.5 millimeters thick. The pins on this pedal are replaceable, and they are a stainless steel M4 9mm pin. There are 10 of them, as we saw, with 2 plastic molded in pins. The weight on these is 460 grams for the pair, and the colors that they come in are black, purple, tan, and turquoise, which you are seeing right here. So that's all the information from their website. Now let's take a look at these pedals compared to the Foothold. Immediately, I can feel a difference in weight, and I did bring my scale out here so we could actually weigh the difference and show it for you. So the Foothold is 6.46 ounces versus the Foot Fetish, which is 8.14 ounces. Hopefully you can see that there. So 6.46 6.5 essentially versus 8.15 essentially, or 8.14. So there is a weight difference here, but the weight difference that you're seeing is in how beefy these petals are. You can see that they are a bit thicker. We take a look at all the angles here. Turn it sideways so you can see the whole petal. You can see that they are a bit thicker. And when we take a look at these pins in comparison to each other, you can see that the pins on the foot fetish are just much bigger, much beefier. We take a closer look at that. They are huge. We can look also from the side profile again to see that they do stick up and they are about the same length. The bigger pins means that there's bigger nuts in there. That's how they are tightened. It's a nut that goes into the pedal body and the pin screws in from the other side. But all areas on the foot fetish are closed off. So you can see here on the foothold that the area goes, this blank area here goes all the way through the pedal, but on the foot fetish, it is closed off there and sealed. That is the same on both sides. And the idea here is to just be a pedal that is bomb-proof, dare I say. These are meant to hold up to abuse. It looks like they're similar in size. Here, we'll stack one on top of the other. They do appear to be similar in size, but the difference between the foothold and the foot fetish in size is that this part tapers in much quicker on the foothold, whereas on the foot fetish, it stays larger the further out it goes. And you can see that whenever we compare the size like this. Now, we will need to take these apart so that we can take a look at what the inside is, but to do that, I'm going to need some more tools, so we will save that for the next segment where I put these on my bike. But first impressions on these things, one, I don't care about the weight difference. I don't really care that much about weight. It's cool that my bike is much lighter than any other bike I've had, but it just happened to work out that way. What I'm seeing here, though, is a pedal that seems to just be an improvement upon the foothold in every category except for the weight. So if you care about the weight, you may want to go with this one still, but if you don't care about like a few ounces, it's literally 3 to 4 ounces of a difference between the two. So if you don't care about that much weight of difference and you want pedals that are definitely going to hold up better than these would, just purely on the fact that they're built to be more robust, these may be something worth looking into. I'm not 100% sure how soon it will be that they are available. That being said, first impressions are great on these things. When the foothold first came out, a micro-knurling was something that I suggested, but it was too late at that point in time. The dual concavity is something that the foothold doesn't have. It's only concave going this way, not going this way. It's hard to kind of explain, but when you take a look at it from the side profile, you can see that there's concavity going this way. You rotate the pedal and it's concavity going this way. And that combined with the larger surface area just means that there is more foot contact for your foot here. And if grip is something you really care about, that is something that you're going to want to pay attention to. And when it comes to the pins as well, you can take them out to suit your needs. If you don't want 12 pins, you could take some of them out and it won't be as grippy. Same with pedal grind stuff. If you want to just grind on one side, well, then you can take all of them on one side out, grind on that side. Definitely excited to get these on the bike, so let's not delay it any further and get to the bike and put them on. All right, so before we get to putting these new Alienation foot fetish pedals onto my bike, let's first take these spindles out of both the foothold and the foot fetish and compare them. So first, let's take the spindle out of the foothold. If you've never done this before, in case you ever need to, there is a cap that you take off on this side. It is kind of just for protection and to close off the pedal. Set that cap aside. And then on the inside of it, there's actually a 8mm nut that you have to take off as well. You're going to need to hold the spindle this way, and if I'm not mistaken, yes, opposite threaded. So righty is loosey and lefty is tighty. And I can't remember if it's that way for both sides or just one side. So that's something to be aware of. There is also a little washer that goes on the inside too. And once you loosen that up, the spindle kind of just falls out. So when we take a look at this thing, you can see if you look inside here, maybe you can, maybe you can't. There is, I think, one DU bearing in here. And then on this side, there is a sealed bearing. So now, let's slide that back in there so we don't get grease everywhere. And we'll grab the foot fetish and we will take this one apart as well. This one, just you have to go straight to holding one side. And then you use 2 different size Allens to open this one up. Okay. Now this one comes apart a little bit differently in that it's got a rubber seal on the inside of just a little Allen, which could be subject to change upon like the final product. But then we slide this out here. Now I'm going to try to do this without getting grease everywhere. Oh, immediately you can see the difference. The foothold is larger at the bearing, but the foot fetish appears to be larger throughout the spindle. So let's just focus in on this here. You can see that it's larger at the end and it stays thicker at the end as well. But on the inside here, we have the bearings, the DU bearings. Focus once again. There is a rubber ring in there that I didn't take out. And that is what that bearing looks like. And slide the spindle. There we go. And all of the pedals are put back together now, so they're ready to put onto the bike. I've got the right one in my hand right here. And I've already pre-loosened these pedals because I want to save myself the embarrassment of breaking pedals loose in a video, sitting in this awkward position where I don't have great leverage. One thing I can tell you is that if you're taking off or putting pedals on with your bike upright, they tighten towards the front of the bike and they loosen towards the rear of the bike. As you can see here, loosening, tightening. Both sides do the same thing. That one is reverse threaded, but you don't have to remember that as long as you remember that tightening it goes towards the front of the bike, which this one's pretty much tight now, so I'm not going any further, and loosening goes towards the rear of the bike. These things have been great. I put these on my bike whenever I first built it, and they have held up. It's good. I am terrible with pedals. I feel that most people know how that can be because you jump on someone else's bike and immediately can feel that either your pedals are bent or their pedals are bent or your cranks or something is off. Seems like that's always the case when you jump on someone else's bike unless their stuff is brand new. So we'll go with the left pedal first, tightening towards the front of the bike. There we go. Now we'll throw the right side pedal on and we will be all set. We'll have a session with these on Saturday, and that will be my first impressions of them. Already forgetting my own advice, tighten towards the front of the bike. And there we have it. Brand new Alienation foot fetish pedals coming soon. All of the information that I gave previously, 12 pins on here. 10 of them are removable, oversized pins. 2 of them are molded into the body. There's also micro-knurling molded into the body, 113 millimeters by 112.5 millimeters by 21.5 millimeters thick. They weigh 460 or 480 grams for the pair. They're 8.14 ounces each, if that helps you out any more there. They have 2 of the self-lubricating DU bearings in them, and honestly, they look like a solid upgrade over the Foothold. But for now, the Foothold will still exist in Alienation's pedal lineup, so you can still get them if you want them. I'm excited to try these things out, and I won't bore you guys any further. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully, if you are into these, you'll take a look at them, and I will keep you guys updated on when they will be available. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did and you're new here or you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button down below. Subscribe to Alienation's YouTube channel, follow them on Instagram, and take a look at everything they're doing. There's so many new things that have come out recently and are coming soon. Thanks again, and goodbye.